Hello everybody, my name is Phyllis, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are here inside of Roblox Tower Battles because we've got a very important question to answer. Are cheap towers worth buying? To answer this question, let's first define what a cheap tower even is. I would say, God, my voice just cracked. I would say that a tower is cheap in Tower Battles if it costs 1,000 credits or less, since you can get 1,000 credits with just 10 minutes in solo. Here you can see that I prepared a graph for different tiers of the cheap towers. On this graph, there are quite a few towers, all of which we'll be going over. First, however, I need to tell you how this video is going to go down. This will essentially be a tournament-style competition between all of the towers. I'll compare towers of the same cost to each other, and then the winner of that comparison moves on. We'll start from least expensive, and if a tower does not have the same cost counterpart, it will be matched up with the closest cost tower, starting with the sniper and the fragger. Both of these towers cost 100 credits, and they are the two cheapest towers in the game besides the tweeter, which I purposely left out of this video because it's technically an exclusive tower. The sniper is a slow-firing single-shot tower. It has high range and does quite heavy damage. The fragger is a quick-firing tower that does low area damage and a medium amount of range. One advantage of the sniper is that it does a lot more damage than the fragger, especially at higher levels. An advantage for the fragger is that the fragger fires faster and does area damage, even if its range is actually quite short. The best way to utilize either of these towers would actually be to use them together, starting with the fragger and adding in snipers by waves 10 to 15. But because the fragger is just so good early game, along with the fact that it's much cheaper and can absolutely melt boss 1 spam, the win has to go to the fragger. Alright, so the fragger has won her first matchup. Next, we've got the shotgunner and the crowd gunner, costing 300 and 400 credits respectively. Both of these towers are a no-go. I do not recommend either of them in the slightest. Neither of them can see hiddens at any level, and they both have pretty bad range. The shotgunner does a good amount of damage, especially in early waves, but it's not worth using due to the fact that it can't see hiddens at any level. The crowd gunner does very little damage, making it a highly ineffective tower damage-wise. The only use that crowd gunner has is freezing zombies, so while it is feasible to use the crowd gunner in later waves with the help of other towers, it by itself is so bad that I don't recommend using it ever. Since both of these towers are so bad, neither of them get to progress. And now for the farm and the soldier. These towers are two of my favorites. The farm is one of the most useful towers in the entire game. Once maxed out, it generates $1,500 per wave, and when combined with multiple other farms, you're looking at a seriously healthy amount of cash per wave, which you can use to upgrade your towers. The soldier is also a great tower, especially for beginners. While it isn't quite as good as the farm in terms of late game usability, the soldier does a lot of damage for the price. It only costs $3,600 to max out, and when maxed out, it has almost the exact same damage per second, DPS, as the Mercenary. So if we're comparing these two towers in terms of damage, the soldier obviously wins. If we're comparing these two towers in terms of late game usability, however, the farm wins. Since both of these towers can be used so nicely together, this is a tie, and you should probably get both of these towers, especially if you're a beginner. The Tuber, Mortar, Enforcer, and Patrol all cost 800 credits, but which of these is the most worthy of your 800 credits? Let's evaluate all four of these towers, starting with the Mortar. The Mortar is a medium damage, high range cliff basement tower. It shoots large shells at zombies, dealing massive area damage. The Mortar is definitely a good buy, but note that it can only be used on a cliff, so if you prefer maps without cliffs, you should probably avoid the Mortar. Next, the Tuber. The Tuber holds a bazooka in his hands, and the bazooka fires an exploding projectile at hordes of zombies, dealing massive splash damage. The Tuber lacks the range and fire rate of the Mortar, but it does slightly more damage, especially early game. However, due to the Mortar's advantage in fire rate and range, the Mortar wins. Let's now move on to our other two towers, the Enforcer and the Patrol. I'm just going to go ahead and say that the Patrol wins, and please do not buy the Enforcer ever unless you have plenty of credits to spare. The Enforcer literally has melee range that is sort of redeemed by its hard hit, but not entirely, even with the Shock Baton upgrade. So from the Tuber, the Mortar, the Enforcer, and the Patrol, our two winners are the Mortar and Patrol, a great combination. Next, let's move on to our final few towers. The Barracks, the Aviator, the Flamethrower, and the Mercenary. All of these towers cost 1,000 credits, so they're on the very borderline of being cheap, but I will include them anyways since they're quite common. Let's start by talking about the Barracks and the Aviator. The Barracks and the Aviator are both pretty good starting towers, but the Aviator's claim to be a superior tower. After about 30 minutes and 2 individual matches of testing, the Barracks is undoubtedly a better tower for starting off. However, late game, waves 25 and up, seemed to pose an issue for the barracks, as they got overwhelmed in my tests against the Aviator. Because the Aviator is better late game, the Aviator is the winner of this little comparison. Next, the Flamethrower. The Flamethrower is a medium, not high range, but medium range tower that does good enough damage, and in fact the damage is good enough to be considered a great starting tower. The main use of Flamethrower, even in pro decks with Zed and Golden Commando, is the fact that it slows down zombies by 50%. Super useful. The Mercenary, like the Soldier, the Mercenary is a quick-firing medium damage tower that is very similar to the Commando. It has a decent range and is probably the best out of all of these towers. And with that, we actually now have our finalist towers. The Sniper, sort of, the Fragger, the Farm, the Soldier, the Mortar, and the Mercenary, and the Flamethrower. But which of these 6 towers is the best? I've come up with a few categories to help you decide. Also, I know that wasn't 6 towers, but I'm not counting the Sniper. Anyways, the best tower here damage-wise is either the Mercenary or the Mortar. The best tower here usability-wise is the Farm, since it generates money and is favored among Triumphers. The best tower here in terms of value would be the Soldier, the cheapest tower is the Fragger, and the Flamethrower is just in a bit of a league on its own because it slows down zombies. Who wouldn't want that? Anyways, before I go, please remember that this video is a broad guide covering the cheap towers inside of Roblox Tower Battles. You are 100% free to base your early purchases off of this video, but over time, these ideas are subject to change because of updates to the game. With that, I hope you have enjoyed. If you like this video and want to see more Roblox and Tower Battles content, please make sure to subscribe to the channel as it helps me out a ton. I love you guys so much. Bye-bye.